38 ghosts on the Hai Van Pass. Faint-hearted shouldn't listen. Talking about the Hai Van Pass, almost everyone is familiar with it. This mountain pass is part of the Truong Son Range in central Vietnam, serving as the natural border between Hue and Da Nang. The Hai Van Pass stretches 21 kilometers, with its highest peak at 496 meters above sea level. It is the most treacherous pass on the ancient north-south route. Before the construction of the Bo Duong Tunnel, the Hai Van Pass was a nightmare for trucks and passenger vehicles traveling between the north and the south. The pass was notorious for horrifying accidents, terrifying rollovers, and spine-chilling incidents. Evidence of these dreadful accidents can be seen in numerous haunted shrines scattered along the pass. Mentioning these haunted shrines without delving into the mystical stories associated with them is to miss the essence of these places. Without spiritual tales, there would be no reason to build these shrines. The haunted shrines on the Hai Van Pass are always surrounded by the lingering scent of incense throughout the year. The story I'm about to tell is related to these haunted shrines. Mr. Forth, a poor farmer, lived at the foot of the Hai Van Pass in Phu Loc District, Hue. Being a widower, he lived a modest life, collecting firewood, burning charcoal, and trapping animals to exchange for rice to make ends meet. Every day he would set out early in the morning with a bag of rice and return late in the pitch-dark evening. Once in a while he took a day off to sell firewood at the market. One late winter day, rain drizzled, and a biting cold covered the entire area. Tet, Vietnamese New Year, was approaching, but Mr. Forth had not a single penny in his pocket, and his rice supply was running out. The continuous heavy rain for the past few days had hindered his ability to work, leaving him lying idle at home with no rice to eat. Fortunately, the rain eased up that day, so Mr. Forth decided to go up the mountain to gather firewood to exchange for rice. In the early morning, he shouldered his axe and set out. Crossing the Hai Van Pass, he found plenty of firewood by midday, and even trapped a large monitor lizard. Overjoyed, he decided to head back home. Familiar with every tree and blade of grass on the Hai Van Pass, Mr. Forth couldn't understand how he got lost that day. Despite going back and forth, he couldn't find the familiar paths. In the afternoon, the rain intensified. Mr. Forth, shivering, contemplated finding shelter from the rain. The sky turned dark and the rain poured even heavier. Luckily, he stumbled upon a relatively large abandoned shrine. Without hesitation, he entered. Inside the dark shrine, he hastily lit a torch and discovered cobwebs, layers of dust, and a broken clay statue of a mountain deity. It was evident that no one had visited the shrine for a long time. Mr. Forth thought, "Strange, why did I get lost today and I've never seen this desolate shrine before? Could it be that the spirits guided me here?" He quickly gathered some firewood, lit a large fire to warm himself, and ate his packed rice. After the meal, he explored the shrine for a place to spend the night, as it was impossible to descend the mountain in the heavy rain and strong winds. Feeling uneasy, Mr. Forth couldn't shake off the ominous premonition in his mind. There was something mysterious and eerie about this shrine. However, he had no choice but to confront it, otherwise he wouldn't know what to do. He extinguished the fire, erased any traces of ash, cleared the firewood and hid behind the broken statue. Clutching his axe tightly, he prepared for what might come next. Exhausted and cold, Mr. Forth fell asleep without realizing it. Suddenly he woke up to loud quarrels and clashes. Listening carefully, he discovered the disturbing sounds came from in front of the broken mountain deity statue. Peering out, Mr. Forth witnessed a horrifying scene that sent shivers down his spine. Dozens of mutilated bodies, decapitated, missing limbs, crushed faces, lay in 2 rows in front of a partially shattered corpse. It seemed like these ghosts had gathered after fatal accidents on the Van Pass. He had witnessed several terrifying accidents on the pass, and today these spirits had assembled here, likely anticipating another tragedy on the pass the next day. The sight was gruesome, and the spirits were arranging themselves in front of a corpse whose skull was split open. He immediately recognized that these ghosts had died in accidents on the Van Pass years ago. Terrified, Mr. Forth was paralyzed, unable to breathe. His hands trembled as he gripped his axe. He had never encountered such a horrifying scene in his entire life, and his whole body felt cold. A chilling sensation ran through him. Unable to endure it, he dared not look towards them and focused on listening to their conversation. The leader of the ghosts spoke up. Tomorrow, a passenger bus with the plate number 29XXXX will travel from Hanoi to Saigon through our territory. There will be a total of 38 people on board. At exactly 9 a.m., the bus will pass by the area near Ong Ho Shrine. Your mission is to push the bus off the cliff, but remember to spare the life of a 24-year-old woman who is 6 months pregnant. As the ghost leader finished speaking, the spirits below buzzed like a swarm of bees. They discussed and debated eagerly. A half-bodied corpse dragging its long intestines raised its disfigured face and spoke. "Dear leader, why do we have to spare the life of that person? We have been waiting for this day for so long. After this incident, these people will replace the 38 of us in our assembly. Or should we just kill them all at once?" "Do it that way, no need for many words. Let's disband," the ghost leader gruffly commanded. After that, the spirits dispersed. Mr. Forth was horrified to realize that these were the souls of those who died in the accident on the Van Pass years ago. Fearing they might discover him eavesdropping on their grand plan, he didn't dare to breathe loudly. After a while, all sounds disappeared. Shaken, Mr. Forth understood that these were the lost souls of the victims of a bus accident that occurred decades ago. They were worshipped in small shrines near the Ong Ho Shrine. The accident had claimed the lives of over 20 innocent people. Terrified at the revelation, he waited until everything went silent before cautiously leaving the shrine. To his surprise, there was no trace of the eerie spirits anywhere. Somewhere in the distance, a wild rooster crowed. Realizing dawn was approaching, Mr. Forth hurriedly packed his belongings and prepared to leave. The rain had stopped completely, and a few rays of sunlight peeked through the sky. Though daylight had arrived, the air remained frigid. Rubbing his hands to warm them, he thought that it was fortunate the rain had let up. Otherwise, how could he have descended the mountain? Feeling a sense of gratitude and responsibility, he rushed down the Van Pass. He needed to reach the Ong Ho shrine and wait for the bus. By the time Mr. Forth reached the shrine, the sun was fully up. Sitting in the middle of the road, he anxiously awaited the bus. The warmth of the morning sun contrasted with the chilling atmosphere around him. Moments later, a bus appeared, winding its way through the pass. When it reached his location, it stopped. The assistant driver jumped out, yelling angrily, "Old man, are you crazy? No place to sit but in the middle of the road." Ignoring the driver, Mr. Forth hurriedly walked past the bus and shouted, "Let me speak to the owner for a moment. It's a matter of life and death related to all of you." "Damn it, get lost. Why bother with me so early in the morning?" grumbled the driver. Unperturbed by the driver's complaints, Mr. Forth approached the owner, who had come down to investigate. In a loud voice, he asked, "Is there a total of 38 people on this bus? And is there a 24-year-old woman 6 months pregnant among them?" The passengers on the bus couldn't believe their ears. The driver's assistant checked and confirmed that Forth's words were accurate. Mr. Forth began to recount the story he had witnessed. After hearing the chilling tale, everyone was astonished and horrified. He truly seemed like a savior sent by divine forces. Without his intervention, the passengers might have met a tragic fate in the deep abyss. The bus owner decided to stop the bus, and they all pooled money to express their gratitude to Mr. Forth. They promised to perform a ritual, lighting incense and candles at O's shrine, to express their thanks to the spirits that saved them. The entire bus turned back towards Hanoi. The driver, deeply affected by the incident, declared that he would quit his job after this trip.